I think ever since you've come into office, things are really looking up. Gas is up, rent is up, food is up, everything. No, it really has been a tough first year for you, Mr. President. Gas is up, gas is up, gas is up, everything. Rent is up, everything, everything, everything. Gas is up, rent is up, food is up, gas is up, rent is up, food is up, everything.
And we're back. Welcome to Sunday Night Live. It is time for the zoo. And I got to tell you, folks, we're going to have one hell of a broadcast. We've got some great, shall we say, information coming to you. And here's how I'm going to start the show off. I'm going to let you know that Fauci, according to a former Centers for Disease Control chief, that's right, the guy who he kind of showed up every now and then when Trump was president. He kind of had that little C. Everett Koop, Quaker Oats, little beard thing, kind of like he's the Tin Man, but a little bit fluffy in the middle, if you know what I'm saying. Anyways, that guy comes out and says that Fauci, that's right, little Dr. Doom, said he misled Congress about gain of function research. But get this. Well, he also says that he's protected by the Biden regime. But understand this, folks. There is gain of function. Let's quit using stupid words for these clowns. It's weaponizing disease and misled Congress. Look, if I go and mislead Congress, that's called lying. It's called perjury. It's called criminal offense. It's called contempt of Congress. It's called John gets his ass sent to jail and he gets to make a lot of new friends in the shower. I don't want to be there. But, Dr. Fauci.
With COVID, I mean, the things that we thought we knew in the beginning turned out as the months went by to not be the case, which really forced us to adapt and to change some of our policies and recommendations. That was interpreted by many as flip-flopping or not really knowing what's going on, when it really was the evolution of the science.
Fuck you, Dr. Fauci.
The best vaccination is to get infected yourself. If she really has the flu, she definitely doesn't need a flu vaccine. If she really has the flu,
she should not get it again.
No, she doesn't need it because it's the most potent vaccination in getting infected yourself.
Fuck you, Dr. Fauci.
That's right, folks. The little clown said, well, the best immunity, the best vaccination you get is getting it yourself, natural immunity. You know what that little prick said? He came out and said that was taken out of context. It seemed to me right in the middle of the fucking context, if you ask me. So, folks, guess what? It's Sunday Night Live, and we've got the Knights of the Round Table here, and here they come. And we're all here. It's Crispy Bacon down south. And we got Ooman over here. And then, of course, the Venerable in her first ever appearance on the Prepared Mind channel. It is the Flaming Red Nikki, the pirate herself in here. Anyways, welcome, everyone. Nikki, Ooman, Chris, Knights of the Round Table. We've got a lot to talk about. And it is Sunday Night Live. And I've got a two-tiered system today. Let's see. Had the pirate flag for the thumbnail, so I'm going with the $50 Captain Morgan drink. And if anyone really wants to get crazy, they can buy me a $100 shot of 18-year Glenn Levitt. I just thought I'd make it interesting. And $500 will get Nikki to take her leather vest off. All right. Anyways, it's going to be a hell of a show. I want to start out, which is as usual. Who do we got? Who steps in but Darcy T? She kicks the show off. And let me do this. How are we going to do this? Let's see. There we go. Yeah. Actually, how do I get my finger to point down there? Yeah, Nikki's in Ooman's dark, dank corner of his shop. They're actually in the same shop, pretending not to be. Anyways, Darcy T starts off with a $50 super chat donation. I had to put myself over here so I could go. There's a button up here. If you've got a question, a comment, a thought, a joke, a recommendation, an observation, hit that super chat button, and your funds go into the Keep John Alive, Get the Fuck Back and Stay Back fund. And we're going to start with Darcy T. Does a $50 super chat. And what we're going to do is we'll do this around the horn. There's a funny noise on there.
Yeah, that's not me, because I forgot I was muted the whole time you were talking just now.
Someone's making
Sorry.
noise. It's not like, hey, someone stuck on a duck or what? Anyways.
I'll thank myself later.
Right, I'll make you famous. You can support the show. So Darcy T says, what's with DeSantis and Abbott sending illegals to liberal states? Seems to me that it would be easier and more effective to send them back home rather than perpetuate the problem. Other than giving the left a black eye, what did they really accomplish? Martha's Vineyard was cleared out in a day when the National Guard was called in, and the illegals are still here. Well, Darcy, this question's been brought up a number of times, a number of different ways. And the way I've thought about it is if DeSantis or Abbott or anyone else were to send the illegals back over the border, they would just walk a mile down the border line and come back across again. Walk over, and Biden would give them what, another $5,000, $10,000 in credit cards and a bus ticket somewhere else. So at the very least, they get a free ride up to Martha's Vineyard, New York City, Chicago, New York. Did I say New York City? Martha's Vineyard, D.C., and make the left look like the hypocrites they are. I mean, you kind of pointed out, right? It kind of gives them a black eye, makes them look like a bunch of dickheads because all of a sudden, 50 people dropped off in Martha's Vineyard. They called that, what did they call that, Chris? They called it a humanitarian crisis. That's 50 is a humanitarian crisis, but 5 million isn't. Right? That's like 0.0001% of what the rest of the country is having to swallow. Okay, and you know, speaking of swallow, does anyone else want to address that topic?
Well, I think it was pretty funny the way that, Chicago here is freaking out about, getting I think they got their 12th busload. Texas is supposed to be able to handle all these people coming in whatever quantity they let them in at. And then as soon as you get your 12th busload, everybody's freaking out. And then on top of it, they start shipping them off to every other neighboring suburb and say, here, you take care of it.
Right.
So the hypocrisy is just absolutely hilarious. And watching these folks melt down has just been a lot of fun.
I really think that's the best that our guys could do, DeSantis and Abbott. I mean, you can't just go arrest Biden for it. So it's just ship them the problem and see how they deal with it. You got an opinion on that, Chris? Oh, wait, we got to turn your mic on, buddy.
Oh,
there you go. Now you're on. Now you're not.
Complaints of kidnapping and how bad it was. Wasn't it Biden who's been flying them out under the darkness of night to cities all over the country? And like Uman said, I mean, if it's just 50 people and it proved a huge point and pointed out the hypocrisy anybody who couldn't see the hypocrisy just doesn't have two brain cells to rub together. But it was worth it. I think it was totally worth it to prove the point with just that one busload or two busloads, whatever it was.
That's about all we can do, I guess. I mean, the federal government, one of the actual legitimate functions they have is securing the border. Nikki, do you have anything to add to that?
Like I said in your chat the other day or yesterday or whatever day, I thought it was a brilliant move. Too bad he didn't send more,
I think they're on the way. I think they're on the way. Well, Hillary Clinton said that DeSantis, and she didn't mention Abbott, I don't think, but she did mention DeSantis flying illegal aliens to Martha's Vineyard is literally human trafficking. Quote, she said it's literally human trafficking. So I guess if you move humans from one place to another, you're trafficking. So American Airlines, TWA, Southwest, and other airlines are also trafficking humans. It doesn't matter if they voluntarily get on a bus or a plane, you're trafficking now. And imagine this. Imagine if a prostitute were to fly on an airplane. That's sex trafficking. Right, Hillary? I mean, is Hillary going to step in? Where's that dumb bitch at? All right, now everyone, welcome the backcountry prepper himself. He's made a surprise appearance. He's got 3 fingers, only one missing today. It is Vaughn.
What's up, everybody?
It's good seeing you, buddy. The show's over, Vaughn. We've gone 2 hours, man. So we'll see you.
That's all right. Just wanted to stop in and say hi. I'm here at the park with the kids.
Oh, that's great, man.
Oh, nice.
That's good. How's William doing?
He's good. He's at home with mom. Mom's hungover. I'm hungover. We had a hell of a night last night.
Oh boy. All right. Well, we're gonna kick it off with some topics, and when we get a super chat in, some super chat donations, and some topics that the listeners want to watch or talk about, we'll do some roundtable discussions of those. So let's kick it off. Jolene, who do we want to start with out there in the super chat world? And we got Chin Music with $49.99 starting us off. Good God. He says, can't let Cottage Farm do all the work. And so what he's saying there is $50 gets a shot of Captain Morgan, and $100 gets a shot of Glenn Levitt, 18-year. That's the good stuff. That's why there's a higher price tag on it. But I tell you what, Chin Music, here's to you. Hey, man, where are you at, man? You got to get in on that.
Oh, sorry. I'm watching the chat here. So
I'm almost ready.
Boy, that's freaking good stuff. Okay. This is what Chin Music says. He says, have to take issue with DeSantis when he said someone should chuck a little elf across the Potomac. We should fill his pockets with change and toss him halfway across. I tell you, the wisdom of the Prepared Mind audience is stunning. He's correct, you know. If I saw him down there at the bottom, I'd say that's just like a little man to take more change than he can swim with. Rim shot. Okay. That's an old joke, and it was probably a very bad old joke that I just quoted, but hopefully none of you know the original version. All right, now let's anyone want to comment on that? I think Uman knows the joke.
Yeah, kind of.
Yep. There's a couple versions of it.
Yeah.
Okay. As far as DeSantis saying, I want to talk on this subject a little as we get the show started. Tossing the elf across the Potomac. That's actually, if I'm gonna play devil's advocate, a powerful politician who is a very popular man, especially in Nikki's state of Florida. And Chris's state of Florida, very popular, powerful political figure, could be a presidential candidate, actually making a joke, but also involving a violent thought. Do you think that is going to be used against him if he were to ever run for higher office?
Oh, yes.
Vaughn, calling on you, brother.
You calling me?
Yeah, man. Would they throw that back into DeSantis, saying he's a violent criminal?
Yeah,
wanting to toss that midget.
Definitely would. They would definitely use that as one of their cards to play. It's interesting to see. I think what Abbott and DeSantis has done is brilliant. I mean, it's showing. It pulled out the hypocrisy for the whole world to see as far as immigration and the open borders and whatnot. And even Beetlejuice is out there saying that them shipping these illegal aliens to these northern, more affluent neighborhoods where they live, it goes to show their hypocrisy. And I think everybody's seeing it. I thought it was a brilliant move. And I think they should keep doing it.
Yeah, me too.
They need to double up.
Yeah.
Double up and double down. Chris, what do you think of DeSantis' violent threat?
Nikki knows more about tossing elves than any of us, probably. So,
I've tossed a few. Yeah.
We should ask her if that comment is really going to be taken seriously by anybody.
Well, if something as simple as "Make America Great Again," or parents at a school board meeting saying, What are you trying to teach our kids? If that makes you a domestic terrorist, how bad is DeSantis for wanting to toss their godlike science doctor,
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to see him make it a huge issue, because I think it would just make them look like jackasses. I mean,
Yeah.
really, let's dive into that elf tossing comment. Make that a big deal. Let's have hearings. Let's spend all kinds of money, time, and legal action on the elf tossing thing. That would just be like the best humor they could create for themselves.
Yeah.
My conclusion is that little people are all Republicans, because there has not been one single protest of little people outside DeSantis's office saying it's wrong to chuck shorter than average men.
No, there hasn't.
Yeah, they haven't. I have not seen a little protest or a big protest.
Nah. They're all on the beach getting sun and drinking margaritas. They don't give a shit.
Those Floridian little people. Okay. Anyways, that's a great topic. Thank you, Chin, and I want to thank also Darcy T for getting us started with a big bang. And then Jolene, I think we got another super chat donation. Let's see what else is out there for discussion. And it is none other than Diorce. And folks, that's a deer crossed with a horse, by the way, in case you couldn't tell. He says 12 gauge HP slug. He says, I plan on moving out of this lackluster state of Colorado down to the great state of Texas to do lineman apprenticeship after I complete pole climbing classes and other lineman related college courses. Well, there's pole climbing and then pole dancing. Make sure you don't get the two confused. Now,
he said
for our
pole.
senior analyst, let's go to Nikki.
okay.
You had me at pole?
What advice? What advice?
Someone's got to do it. Someone has to pay to put those girls through college. As far as pole climbing, my younger son Lucas went to lineman school. I think it was very legitimate. It had a classroom side and go out there and make you physically do the work. It's pretty harsh stuff, Diorce. I got pictures of my kid hanging off of a pole with a cable to his waist, I think like 30 feet up. And I just thought, that kid's crazy as fuck. I wonder where he got it from. But it was an expensive course. It's not free. So you're gonna enjoy it, Diorce. I know that. And then you'll be one of the good guys out there fixing power when it goes bad.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing is you got to have huge respect for anybody who's got the sense to push their career in the direction of actually doing something, which is what we lack. We got gender studies majors, we've got English majors, we got teaching majors. We need people like this guy that actually do something.
Yep.
Need it badly.
Yep.
Right on. I agree.
There's Machiavelli Customs wants to know that if he donates $45, will Vaughn take his shirt off?
I'll give you 50 if he doesn't.
The answer is yes.
Yeah.
Folks, I've seen Vaughn in a banana hammock, and I can't unsee it. Was that 5 or 6 years ago, Vaughn, when you sent that to us in a drunken fever?
Yeah, I don't claim that ever happened.
I've got the poster on my wall. What are you kidding?
Fucking awesome.
And that was before Karen. That was BK before Karen.
It probably doesn't compare to the shit I've sent Kaz, so count yourself lucky.
Thank God. All right. So the answer is yes. All right.
Oh,
God bless you for having a sense of humor, Vaughn. All right, let's see. I think we got another super chat donation, and we need to get that number of people live. We got to get it up over. Shit, I want to get it over 500. So everybody, send the internet address. Right, that this is live for YouTube. It's live for preparedmind.club. It's live for subscribestar.com. We're all live here, and so everybody can come and join us. All righty. Now, Jolene, let's go with another super chat. We got Piping Shrike in with $10 super chat donation. Hi from Australia, the land down under. And tell you what, this brings up a topic. We're going to do the round table here real quick. What do you think of the New Zealand Prime Minister, that stupid bitch, going from lockdown, everybody, you have to get the shots, to, well, I guess we're not going to do anything anymore. We're done with it. Oh, man, you first.
Oh man, I don't know. It's all these guys. You know, they're here, whatever. I mean, you shut down and destroy your country's economy, and then you drop everything like nothing happened. You know, what are these people going to do to restore their lives and get back to where they were before all this garbage started?
Right. Nikki, you're next.
Well, I mean, it's timing. You know, what was their motivation for saying that? Because they're clearly douchebags. You know. So, and then they get a lot of, I have a couple of really tight friends in New Zealand, and they said down there, they're bitching so much to people that I guess eventually kind of give the people what they want to make yourself look good again, but they've already destroyed everything, you know. Timing too. When are they running for office again? What's going on? You know, it's all too convenient, but they should have done the right thing from the get-go. It's terrible.
Well,
absolutely terrible.
This entire debacle has been nothing having to do with the right thing. But this truly is an international show, folks. If we're not on some foreign shore, we know people on foreign shores, and we get opinions from around the world. Chris, have you got an opinion regarding New Zealand and all of a sudden just no more restrictions, no more mandates, it's all fine?
I mean, all I can say about any of these politicians that are shrinking away from or backpedaling from what they did is, you know, I mean, even an apology isn't good enough. There's no accountability. These people need to be tossed. They need to just be tossed. It's too bad, you know, that's not the world we live in. But I mean, I would say it'd be great to get an apology and I'm sorry, and we'll try to do better next time. But they've destroyed lives, businesses, generational businesses. An apology isn't even good enough. I mean, it's just a good thing we live in a civil society where people really aren't tar and feathering these people.
That's a really great point. An apology isn't enough. I really think she should be tarred and feathered, and maybe something else done to her. I don't know what it could be that would be and serve as a lesson to other politicians, that you don't get to own us, you don't get to destroy our lives, you don't get to steal our money, you don't get to fuck us over, you don't get to violate your oaths, you don't get to violate the law, the Constitution, and then just say, oops, hey, you know, shit happens.
Yeah, all the qualified immunity should be taken away, and they should be held accountable for everything that they did. They should be resigning, never allowed to hold another political government position.
Right.
I like that. You're thrown the fuck out of office. I think a simple jury trial to establish the fact that they violated their oath or knowingly violated the law, the Constitution of any country, and that should be enough to throw them out of office, if not throw their ass in jail. Vaughn, you want to end that little thing with anything else, or are you copacetic?
Yeah, I think I agree with you. I think prosecution should be the bare minimum that should happen. As a matter of fact, I mean, if these people are guilty of ruining people's lives, I believe that their lives should be ruined. You know, be it at the gallows or what have you. I think that's more appropriate than just prison time.
Well, yeah, that's interesting. The death penalty for violating the Constitution. I mean, how many lives do they have to destroy? How many people to get to die because of the virtue signaling bastards in office, right? It wouldn't be an eye for an eye. It would be one eye of a politician for thousands of eyes. You know, thousands of people that had their lives destroyed and literally killed in this instance. Wow, what a topic.
And it's not even like it's over. What about 10, 15, 20 years down the road? These people that are depressed, relationships destroyed, people that committed that thing. Don't want to say the word, you know.
Self-deletion.
You know, I mean, the repercussions of this are going to go on sometimes for years, maybe even a decade, because some people, you know, they lost everything, they give up, whatever, you know. It's awful.
You said repercussions go on forever. Think about all the kids that are speech delayed because they couldn't see at the time when they need to learn to process human expressions, everybody's face was covered up.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I think there's
received
going to be a
that-
generational impact.
I
Was that
received-
Uman?
I was going to say, I received that email a couple of weeks ago I shared with you guys from a gentleman who's a teacher. And he was saying that the kids going into 7th, 8th grade, junior high, they are so far behind because of this whole, online schooling, Zoom classrooms or whatever. And they're not bouncing back the way the younger kids or the older kids are.
It's some portion of the developmental psychological issue right there, huh? It impacts every age a little differently.
Yep. It seems like those kids in that junior high age are affected a lot more than the real young kids and the older kids from his up.
That's interesting. I guess time will tell. All right. Let's see. Jolene's giving me the signal. We've got another topic coming in on a super chat donation, and we've topped 300. Let's keep pushing for it. I'd love to break 500 today. That'd be awesome with the Knights of the Round Table. And we've got Alan Flinchbaugh with a $10 super chat donation. And he says, Turkey is trying to join the SCO alliance, which has Russia, China, India, Pakistan, Iran, Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, Kazakhstan, and I think also Kyrgyzstan. And Turkey and Greece may go to war with each other, by the way. Now, which of those stands doesn't really exist? First one to donate $5,000 and has the right answer, Nikki will take her vest off. Okay, there we go. I had to go back there. So what do you think of Turkey trying to join this Eastern Alliance while it's already a member of NATO, the North Atlantic Treaty Alliance?
Well, there definitely seems to be some sort of a conflict in memberships there. So they should probably be told that they need to choose a side. If you join that, you can no longer be part of this.
Right. Can you be a I believe the SCO Alliance is financial or business, or am I wrong on that, Chris? Or does anyone know exactly the nature of the SCO Alliance? Is it military, or is it financial, or is it all of the above? Or is it too fucking vague at this time?
Well, I just heard of the SCO just now, so and I'm pretty well read on the news, but I do not doubt that Alan knows more about it than any of us so far. But it wouldn't surprise me to see some other European countries decide that they may have aligned with they may have picked the wrong horse in this battle, and there may be internal pressures for people to at least disconnect from NATO when it comes to these sanctions, because I think it's going to come to a real breaking point. They're going to say, what the heck are we doing? We're letting the U.S. fight a proxy war over here, and we're the victims.
Mhm.
Well, Hungary has gotten a wrist slap, a spanking, and possibly they're going to be sanctioned or punished in some way financially because it's not pro-European Union enough. I don't know if anyone has caught that. They're pushing countries out. You know, it's this, you play with us or you play with them, you can't have friends everywhere. So that is occurring. And the SCO Alliance, or whatever name it goes by, Putin and Xi Jinping were of course, the star members of this new alliance. And they had a lot to say about the unipolar world. That's the term that Putin likes to use to describe U.S. hegemony influencing all of Europe, the UK, and then I think it actually works a little both ways. I really think that the World Economic Forum, or just call them the new liberal world order, they're the ones really pulling the politicians' strings. Uman, what say you?
For sure.
I'm sorry, I was reading the chat.
Someone's got to keep an eye on the chat bastards. Vaughn, what's your opinion on this? If you've got one from deep behind enemy lines in California.
Yeah, I think an interesting thought is if Hungary does leave and Turkey does leave, and it's going to set a precedent to all the other NATO countries, all the other NATO allies, you know, of course, every nation wants to be on the winning team, and as it looks right now, it seems like United States and many countries in Europe and whatnot are kind of free falling down into destruction. So who wants to be a part of that team? So maybe, it'll set a precedent. Maybe other people will follow in suit. It's going to be pretty interesting to see if NATO, if that does happen, if NATO would even survive at that point.
I wonder what the carrot and stick is. It sounds like it's all stick. Like if you don't go along, we're gonna additionally do to you what we think we're doing to the Russians. There's no carrot. It's like, what's in this for them other than starvation and freezing?
Right. I like the carrot or stick. You either get a snacky, a goodie, or you get your ass beat with the stick. Nikki, what do you say about that?
I don't know. The whole thing, the minute I hear the word turkey, I just want to chain somebody up to the wall in the dungeon and beat the crap out of them.
Someone's going to get beaten with a fucking stick in Nikki's world.
Speaking of which, yeah, we should build one like the size of the Pentagon or something, and that'll work. Shove them all in there.
Get them in there,
have my way with them. I need the exercise.
What was it? About 2 months
Turkey's
ago,
been screwing Germany up since I was young. I think I mentioned this in your chat several days ago. It just fundamentally changed Germany. They just let up, and it goes back to this thing here with the illegal immigrants, right? Whatever you want to call it. This was going on back in the 80s, and I was there all the time. I mean, I went to school there and stuff like that. My family's there. And they were just pouring in, and they took over the whole country. They did back then. A lot of people don't know that. And so I have no soft spot for Turkey at all. Like I said, the minute I hear the word Turkey, I'm like, I check out, man, because I could care less about them. But I will say that all these countries, they're going to just follow the money, man. Who benefits? That they're going to do what financially benefits themselves. You know what I mean? Ultimately, I think that's what it's all about. So
I really think Turkey has been the Trojan horse for Europe for decades and decades. They are part of NATO, the second largest army, the first largest military on the continent, but they've been doing exactly what Nikki said, and that's pouring refugees into Europe as if the fucking Sultan of the Ottoman Empire was still sitting on his throne there. And they've been playing both sides, getting military equipment from America and military equipment from Russia, including their S-400 missile systems, which is a super advanced missile system technology, just short of the hypersonic stuff. It comes with an incredible radar system. And I've been saying for months, have I not, that Russia seems to be the side Turkey really wants to play on ultimately, or is Turkey, let's ask this question of the roundtable, is Turkey really playing both Russia and NATO against each other, and that they have their own agenda in Turkey?
Well, I think we don't give these countries much of a choice. I mean, if we expect China not to work with Russia, their next door neighbor, with the most resources in the area, or have them forsake these, I think it really is going to come down to energy, food, and resources, because aligning yourself with the U.S. at a certain point, makes zero sense to ship everything into a port versus working with your neighbor. Even if you don't love your neighbor, it makes a hell of a lot more sense to deal with the countries that are right there in your continent.
Yeah, true.
Right.
Yeah, and if you want to look at it from a financial aspect too, I mean, if they're buying military equipment from both sides, I would not kid myself to think that they're not also selling that technology to the other sides on the back end. So, I mean, I'm sure they're selling us Russian technology and they're selling Russia American technology. So they're benefiting both ways.
Right. I'm also aware that the military does not sell Turkey or other weak allies our very best avionics or, shall I say, aircraft technology. They don't get the very best stuff. They get the used off the back shelf recycled stuff. But that being said, I'm sure Russia gets what they can out of it. Any other comments on the topic, or shall we move on? No one's stepping up. No one's waving their hand.
Say move on. I have nothing nice to say about Turkey, so next.
Okay. Here's a topic before we get to the next super chat donation. And this is a big one. Over the weekend at Boston's Children's Hospital, a bunch of leftist screwballs tried confronting protesters who didn't want these transgender surgeries for children to happen. And the police got involved in it to try and stop it. And so the left-wing lunatics had this to scream at everyone. They said this, quote, "Go fuck yourself, you transphobic piece of shit." Now, at this point in the game, I'm going to say maybe we should fear violent leftists. After all, they caused billions of damage. They murdered cops. They murdered civilians. They burned businesses. They burned police stations and police cars to the ground. They looted stores, right? If these people are the trans allies, maybe we should have good cause, I should say, to fear the trannies, the Fruit Loops, the communist dipshits. Not because we think they're badasses, but because they would probably rape our asses, because they are violent. They are a bunch of monkey spunkers in my book. And perhaps being a homophobe or a transphobe is a very good thing to be, considering that these same people want to sexualize children all the way down to fucking preschool. Maybe we should fear them and their, not them as people or their lifestyle, but rather the things they're pushing. I'm getting tired of hearing this. You're a transphobe, you're a homophobe. Well, maybe we have good cause after decades of putting up with their abusive shit. All right, that's my topic. And I'm going to say, Vaughn, what do you think of that, since you have a very young child and he's going to end up having to deal with this crap?
First off, I fear no queer. In my personal opinion, you know, I can't say on this live stream what I was telling my buddy we should do to these people yesterday, but I definitely think that backing down is not a good idea. We need to kind of take a play from their, or a page from their playbook, and get in their faces. We won't tolerate it. If you want to do your crazy, nasty, garbage, do it in your own house. Don't try to put it in the schools. Don't try to teach it to our kids. Yeah. They're pushing it to the point, just like the fags did back from the 80s. You must accept us no matter what, because we're people, and they start calling it human rights and civil rights when it's not. It's sexual deviancy, and these people are just filthy, disgusting. And the last place it should be is in our schools around our kids.
Yes.
Well, yeah, to call me a transphobe or a homophobe or a xenophobe, it's like, okay, fine. You called me that name. Now I've got some really bad ones for you. But, I want to do this. I want to play Let's Take a Wild Guess, sponsored by the Jim Jones Juice. While we're on the topic, a drag queen dies mid-performance at a Philadelphia bar. So playing Take a Wild Guess. Was it cerveza bug, the Jim Jones Juice, or the monkeypox that took this queen down? Everyone, what's our panel say? What?
I'm gonna go monkeypox.
We're gonna go monkeypox. We got one for monkeypox. Nikki, what brought the drag queen to her knees?
Monkeypox. Oh, you just said dragged her to her knees. I'm not going there, right?
Yeah. That means, hey, died. The subject pisses me off, this whole thing. You're a transphobe, you're a homophobe, you're a xenophobe, you're an Islamophobe. So what? I like my culture and my people that are decent, law-abiding, respectful of other people. I'm tired of these disrespectful little cocksuckers on the left being able to call us whatever name they want and then use that as an excuse for violence against normal people. And then trying to make normies like Chris look bad. What did Chris ever do except pay a fucking ton of taxes? And he's never speeded in his whole life.
Well, here's what Chris has to say about this whole thing. and I agree with Vaughn and all of you. But if you put all the name calling on both sides aside, because I think it's fun for them to do, and we get a chuckle out of it too. That's just life. But I'm old enough to remember huge debate in the small town of Elkhart, Indiana, that I grew up in, when they talked about just bringing sex ed into school. That was a big debate. And the bottom line then, and the bottom line with me today is, it doesn't belong in school. That's a personal home issue. Your parents should answer the question about the birds and the bees, or you learn it however, but it has no place in school, no matter what ideology it is, or what proclivity you have. Whatever you do to get your freak on has nothing to do with the ABCs and reading, writing, and arithmetic. It just should be out, and elevate I think that we should elevate the debate to strictly that, because I don't think we're going to get anywhere. It's just like the race thing, how almost everything a white person says gets turned into racism. And, so if you allow yourself once again to get in the slop and wrestle with the pigs, you're going to lose because they like it. Just
True.
Keep it at a level. I feel the same way about the abortion thing. I feel like it'd be very easy if these stupid politicians would just always answer the abortion question with, "That's not part of our job. That's not government's job. Next question, please." And
Yes.
We should do the same thing with talking about any kind of sex in school. It just doesn't belong there. It's not the right forum. It's a personal, private, parental raising issue.
Right on.
That's what I got to say about all that.
It's true.
Okay, well, that's a fun one. No, I actually like the idea of the parents teaching the kid, the morality of the house they are going to live in for, or should be living in for their childhood. To me, it makes sense.
No, my dad was a veterinarian and bred dogs, and I knew exactly how stuff worked. First time I asked when I was 3 or 4 years old, "What are those dogs doing?" "Well, the boy does this and the girl does that, and this is how it works." I'm like, okay, makes sense. But that came from my dad.
I remember catching my parents doing it. I said, "Dad, roll her over. I want puppies."
Oh my God. Holy shit. I can totally picture that.
Sorry. I was once a stand-up comedian when I was a Marine. I used to get up in front of the platoon and just let loose with some jokes. It was fun. Anyways, you got to have your witticisms and stuff ready. Okay, let's do this. Let's get back on what the crowd wants. This is Sunday Night Live. It means Super Chat donations get priority at some point. So, Jolene, who do we have next? We got East Texas Country Boy with a $5 Super Chat donation. And he says, "Nikki, thanks for taking the ball gag out for the show. Love you all. Let's go, Brandon."
Hold on, I'll be right back. All right.
Okay, there. You guys embarrassed the shit out of her. All right. Another big reminder. We got $50 Super Chat donation buys me a Captain Morgan, and a $100 donation buys an 18-year-old Glenn Levitt. And I'll tell you exactly how delicious it is. All right. So, Jolene, let's move on if we shall. It's Dominic Buscemi. Haven't seen this name in a long time. Dominic has been a Super Chat donator, a Prepared Mind constituent member for at least 7-8 years. Says this. Oh, this is what SCO is. The Shanghai Cooperation Organization. It is a Eurasian political, economic, and security organization. Now, I think that spells it out really well. Oh my gosh, Nikki, put that away, you naughty girl. All right.
What, you didn't think
The
I had
Shanghai
one?
Cooperation Organization. Who would you rather protect, or who would you feel more inclined to protect? Your enemy across the border, or your economic partner across the border? So as soon as you become an economic partner, you kind of become a security or military partner because you have something vested in that neighbor. So when we see China talking to Russia and Russia talking to China, yeah, they're going to come to each other's aid. So it does seem like Turkey may be trying to play both sides, maybe for its own advantage. Now that we've seen the Shanghai Cooperative Organization by name, any further comments?
Well, that kind of covers the political, economic, and military aspects. So it looks like it's a little bit of everything. So that would have to have some kind of an impact on their ability to participate in the NATO stuff or whatever. Personally, I would like to see NATO disbanded altogether, but I think it's more useless organizations that we're spending way too much money on in financing.
Yes. I find it interesting that China, a communist country, and Russia, not a communist country, have more in common with each other than they do with Europe and the United States of America. It just seems to me that it's a strange alliance, and to hear the words of Xi Jinping and Putin talking about building beneficial alliances for the entire world that escape the Western hegemony of the U.S. dollar and that kind of punitive partnership that they have. It just, to me, it felt really weird to see or hear that, but at the same time, they kind of made sense. But after all, communists lie about everything, so I don't trust Xi Jinping more than I could kick him.
Yeah.
Any comments on that, or shall we just move along?
Nothing further from me.
Nothing further from the round table. Okay. Okay, well, let's just come back to some domestic things. Douche boy Beto O'Rourke, always clamoring for the media to do something with him, was jogging in a blue dress shirt. What the hell is that all about? Who is this clown? And Vaughn, I know you love Beto O'Rourke.
You fucking guys, I can't believe people vote for these people. I don't understand it. I mean, how can you see not necessarily their lifestyle, but just the things that they say and think to themselves, "Wow, that's the guy I want in charge of my city or state or country." It's disheartening to know that there's so many people in this country that are just so clueless. But as far as Beto, that prick should have been put in prison for treason the second he said, "Hell yes, we're going to take their guns." That should have been prison term right there. That's treason.
Hell yes, we're going to take your AR-15, your AK-47. We're not going to allow it to be used against our fellow Americans anymore. Hell yes, hell yes, hell yes, we're going to take your AR-15. Hell yes, your AK-47. Hell yes, we're going to take your AR-15. Oh, hell no. Hell yes.
That's him. Beto O'Rourke is running for governor of Texas. I saw he had a town hall meeting. It looked like a lunch break room from a retirement home. Like that, you could get like 12 people, and they were chewing on PB&J Crustless and sipping on Capri Suns. How can this guy be serious? And that's all they got.
He looks like a pansy. He really does.
You and I were talking about this topic this weekend, John. How on earth? I mean, we have mutual friends who we know are probably on the liberal side of things, and they're successful people that make good money in the capitalist nation of the U.S. They wouldn't be where they were today without our freedom, liberties, and the opportunities that it provided for them. And they still, all they have is arguments against anything that any conservative says. And they're living their nice lifestyle in their beachfront condo or wherever, or in Martha's Vineyard or whatever. It's still, maybe we get some feedback from some of your online guests here, John. I'm perplexed as to how people say can actually feel like things are going well, and yeah, Biden's doing a good job, and let's have more of that.
Yeah, it's
What are they-
non-existent, kind of like the voters. Who the hell really voted for Biden? It wasn't 91 million.
No way.
Pretty hard to believe.
Come on.
I mean, how many tax increases do we need under every Democratic administration before people say, "Hey, yeah, this may be a problem"?
Yeah, how many of our major cities are going to fall?
Right? Yeah. Remember, I was telling you that. I mean, that's one thing. I don't care what you believe in, what persuasion you are, where you come from, that every American can get behind. I mean, how long are you going to get taxed to death before you stand up and go, I want my money back? You know?
Yeah.
Those days are
Seriously.
coming.
I mean, how many administrations have to go through Chicago before people realize they ain't fixing anything? It just keeps getting worse.
Right.
Stupid, man.
All right. Well, it's Sunday Night Live, which means you guys out there in the crowd, you get to pick the topics with super chat donations. It keeps me in spam. It keeps me in tuna fish, and it keeps me in the finest of whiskey, I guess. That's it. You know, like this bottle right here of 18-year-old Glenlivet was bought by, I think, Stephen Conlon at one point, and with a few generous donations. Anyways, super chat donations, you get to be famous. Jolene, who is next? And we got Bob Hunter with 10 British pounds. And he says, Schrodinger's cat walked into a bar. Or did it? Always time for a joke. Thank you very much. And Schrodinger's cat. Gotta love it. Beautiful. Okay. For all you non-intellectuals, you have Google to help you get that joke. And moving on to the next. Unless someone wants to discuss Schrodinger's cat. Oh, we got Carport Carl with a 2.23 super chat donation. And he says, boycott Amazon, Walmart, and Target this holiday season. All right, yeah, these are great super chat donations. There's a button up there, and it gets your stuff on the show. This is a topic. It's short. It's sweet. It's to the point. Amazon, Walmart, and Target, the three massive retail outlets. What do we do with them, Chris?
I think definitely they're hard to avoid. Let me put it that way. It's going to be really hard to avoid since they've put all of our other businesses out of business. Yep. I do think it's a good time, of course, for everybody to be a little more austere with your spending and teach your family to be more, I guess not expect as much, because we're being told, I think we got to listen. They want us to have less and be happy. And I think they're succeeding at that. I don't know how you avoid these big mega companies. I mean, just how?
Right. All right, Vaughn, what do you have to say about Amazon, Target, Walmart?
You know, all those companies I really don't like, but Chris is right. I mean, they really have a monopoly on a lot of our purchases. I mean, I use it myself just for the convenience, especially Amazon. But at the end of the day, I mean, I think Chris is right. So many mom and pop shops have shut down because of the coup, that there isn't a whole lot of options anymore, especially if you want a one-stop shop. You know, Walmart's great. They got food, they got China junk, they got tools and paint, and you know, it sucks that we're relegated to, you know, the lesser of whatever evils we have the choices to choose from. It really sucks. And then, you know, if you're a small up and coming business, mom and pop shop, so to speak, now you got to jump through all the hoops, all the regulations to even start your business, let alone be prosperous in it. So the system is weighed against small business owners nowadays. And if you're not one of these big guys that are donating to politicians, then you just won't make it.
Right. Ooh, man, where weigh you?
Well, I haven't been to Target since that whole bathroom thing started, and I refuse to take my daughter there or anything like that. Walmart seems to be somewhat unavoidable in a lot of areas. I try to avoid them as much as possible and support small businesses, but it's just not always possible with the way the entire economic landscape has changed over the last 10, 15 years.
Mm-hmm. Nikki, do you have anything?
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. It's practically unavoidable. Like I actually boycotted Target quite some time ago. I said why a little while ago, but Walmart, I don't do Amazon, but Walmart's, I mean, sometimes you just have to get stuff, you know, and then it's unavoidable. You know, I try not to, I try to vote with my wallet, because that's basically what America's come down to, folks, you know, I think, in my opinion. And so I won't support them. And like Oliver, I'm sorry, Uman, I won't support Target. I hate them. But again, it's unavoidable, you know, because, and especially in the last 2 years, right? They pushed all the little guys out. They can't afford to run their business. I think they did it on purpose because, you know, it's like go online, get anything you want in one day, you know, if you're a member of some crazy crap, and that's it. And everybody wants everything yesterday, you know, so how can you not do that? The majority of the population is going to do that. A and B, a lot of them aren't prepared. Like, I don't need a lot of stuff, you know, and so I don't feel the need to go buy crap every day of the week, you know, and get it. Or like these kids that want 25 different plastic Christmas presents from Kmart or China, you know, at Christmas time. Like, do a little less, you know, don't support these assholes. Because if millions of Americans actually collectively at one time decide not to do that, and it hurts their bottom line, things will change if you vote with your wallet. That's my opinion. I don't know.
Well, I've got an opinion, and I like all of yours. I haven't opened my wallet to give Target or Walmart any business in over a year. I've done, I think, a good job of boycotting them. Amazon, that's a tough one, too. I mean, it's so fucking convenient. You know, you just look it up to see, what does this thing cost? And you're like, oh, man, am I going to buy it? But, you know, I think that a good way to stop giving them money would be to shop at thepreparedmind.club.
Yeah.
Give the gift of prepping to your family. Get them a can of freeze-dried beef. Get them some ammunition. But these guys, what's incredible to me is that the Federal Reserve and the financialization of our country and our government as well, they have gone so far to destroy mom and pop business and then destroy us that they've destroyed the customers for Walmart and Target and Amazon. We don't have as much money as we did have. So this Christmas season, I expect all of these retailers to really show terrifyingly low numbers. We're in a recession. It's official. It's not just me saying it anymore. The numbers don't lie. We're in a recession. It's getting worse. And even these big box stores are going to be shortchanged. And I really think people are going to pull back and hang on to their money or buy useful items like cans of beef or who knows what. If you live in Chicago, maybe you should be buying some bulletproof vests. Good golly. I mean, over the weekend there, people are having lunch or dinner at an outside restaurant and someone drives by and just opens fire. I mean, fuck. Crazy stuff.
I think there's some other behavior changes we can do to make things better. If we're buying our kids toys, let's maybe think about electronic experiment kits, chemistry sets, things like that again, which were real common again when the old guy was going around. I think you guys are old enough to remember that kind of thing. But
I bought my kids, I got them one of those build a radio kit where you have to screw all the parts together to make a radio.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about, Chris.
But I mean, the future is going to be in the hands of people who know how to do things that are hard to do. Like Nikki said, these big box stores moved into every small town and rural area in America, basically just undercut everybody's price, and all the other businesses are gone. And then there's been some innovative people or merchandisers that start selling their products on Amazon, and then Amazon will notice, oh, that shit's selling fast. Let's come up with our own Amazon brand, and then those people are out. So I think we may have passed we may have crossed the Rubicon a little far here to go back to the mom and pop hardware store. But if the hardware stores can specialize in things that are maybe have a good price point and aren't easy for Amazon to service or supply, if our young people can start learning to do things that are hard to do, and that comes with the parents guiding them that way. So instead of buying them some video game that's just how many people can you beat over the head with a stick or shoot, maybe the video game should be more, we should start demanding things that are actually educational for the kids, because I think it's going to have to, all this stuff's going to have to be fixed in the next couple of generations.
One generation.
It'll take longer than that, though. I mean, look how many generations it took to get us to where we're at. It's going to take that many to get us back and get it fixed. I mean, you were talking about the little radio kits and stuff like that, and the types of stores that have been destroyed. I mean, I used to love going to Radio Shack to get stuff there. Those little kits and stuff they had. You guys familiar with Fry Electronics?
Oh yeah.
I mean, they always had all those really cool science kits and stuff like that, and they all got wiped out by the Amazons and the Walmarts and stuff of the world. So yeah, it's sad to see that all went.
Well, I think it's still available, but they're not advertising on TV, right? They're advertising cut your dick off, or get a mastectomy. It's all about your feelings. Go buy some rainbow underwear and go swimming with your neighbors.
But see, that comes from the parents too, because if that crap was going on and my mom was still alive, she'd literally tell me to go F myself and go outside and pick up sticks or pull some weeds, man. She wouldn't even put up with that crap. You know what I mean? Yeah, and that goes back to what Chris was saying. Because those parents that are doing that crap at the big box stores and all are the same ones, who drove that 9 and 10-year-old to the hospital for the unmentionable crap that everybody's protesting against. Where are their parents? Seriously, don't get me started. Man,
we want to get you started. That's why we brought you here.
I mean, it's ridiculous. It comes from the parents. You could resurrect both my folks. And the last one passed, actually, Umen and John and everybody remembers, right, because of COVID, right? You could resurrect them and have them raise us today, and I would turn out the same, The ball gags and the balls are not my mom's fault. That was my
what they did with the moms is they got them on the hamster wheel, paying taxes, working 10 hours a day, just like us dudes do now. Mm-hmm. And I read some article, and I wish I could bring it up right now. I'll try to find it, but it was showing that Americans are working more hours than a medieval peasant used to work.
Right.
And what are we trying to do? We're trying to get more money so that our tax rate goes up so that we can send more money into the federal government for them to go spend somewhere else. This isn't sustainable. It will have to come back. It will have to change course and get back to basics.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I want to remind everyone that internet address at the top of the screen up there. Share that with everyone else. Let's get more people here live. And I want to bring up this way of thinking. Chris, you'll understand this. In fact, all of us will. I think we're all over the age of 25. When I grew up in the 70s, I used to always hear, man, rebel against parents, rebel against the teachers, rebel against the government. It was right, always be a rebel. Question authority, right? And that was when authority was more moral and decent. Today, what do we hear? Don't question authority. Do as you're told, kids. Right? No kid would, if he was being told reject everything, would listen to what the news is saying, cartoons are saying, their parents are saying. Now they're telling kids you will obey, you must obey, and by the way, you need to be a flamer, and it's good to be one of these fruitcakes. It's the exact opposite. I grew up with be a rebel, question authority, and the authority they wanted me to question was Ronald Reagan, and being a good American. Now they don't want us to question. It's the opposite. But Nikki, will a lot of these kids today grow up, see what a bunch of freaking losers their parents are, and rebel naturally?
I don't think so. I think that's going to be a very small amount, very small, so small that in the grand scheme of things, unfortunately, and I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think I am, it's going to be insignificant. Won't make a difference, man. Because
that's a good opinion.
And I'm in
what do you
Florida
think?
where we're supposed to be free. There's nothing but idiocy around me. Yeah, I have idiocy around me. You have no idea in this little town that I moved to. And I kind of love watching people, and I watch the interactions with whatever parents or whatever and these kids. And this is nothing like we were when we were growing up, exactly what you just said. I don't think that they're not going to drop their iPhones and their video games and wake up and go, man, you're stupid. Because remember this Parkland deal, which literally was in my backyard. I don't want to say the exact words, but you guys know what I'm talking about.
The Parkland shooting, yeah.
Yeah, what really, I'm trying to be careful and not use those words, but what really distressed me at that time is all these little punks, they couldn't wait to get their 5 minutes of fame on TV, and we're going to march to DC and do this and that. And I'm thinking, you idiot, because, you're kicking yourself in the ass going, we got to take away everybody's those things, and do this. And we're going to march at DC. But they're all happy because they're like 15 years old and they can't wait to be on TV. But they're going to be our age one day. And where are they going to be? Because guess what? You succeeded. You took everything away. Now what are you going to do? You know what I mean? When I was sitting there going, I think you should have trained all the teachers. So when that punk walked in the room, the Johns, the Olivers, the Vons, the Chris's, and the Nikki, the iguana killers of the world, would have taken that asshole out the minute he walked through the door. Are you kidding me?
God bless you, Nikki.
You have to put an iguana costume on him for me. I would have taken that punk out in 2 seconds.
Oh, shit. She's on to the iguanas. She's on to the iguanas.
Yeah. Everything's an iguana. Yeah. Washington, D.C. is full of iguanas,
Yeah. Well, I don't think it's going to hit those kids, because it seems like the ones that are doing this the most are the most entitled and the most coddled. It's not the ones that are struggling. It's the ones that have the well-to-do parents and all of this. And I don't think they're going to realize it until the money train runs out.
Too late.
And then it's going to be too late for them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my kids, my sons, were incredibly respectful of adults and their teachers. They got great grades in school. They were really smart. But when they got to high school, they both shared with me at different times. They're like, Dad, I realized that my teacher is an idiot. And we literally had these conversations. I said, okay, you've realized now, you've got enough experience, even at age 17 or 18, you're intelligent enough, and you can compare and contrast your teacher to the standards that you have mentally set for yourselves. You understand these people are they're just teachers. They're not rocket scientists. They're not the most brilliant people. And I don't know if they lost respect for them because they're idiotic leftists, or if, all kids that are intelligent are capable of seeing, that their parents are flawed and that the world isn't, to me, I think the kids should see how fucked up their parents are, if they truly are that fucked up, and their teachers, like the teacher who has come out and he's up in Canada. He's a cross-dressing tranny.
Oh, God, yeah.
Who wore enormous boobs. Some of these boobs that look like beach balls under the shirt with nipples. This fucking clown wears that to school.
You're joking.
And teaches.
I'm not joking. It's all over the news.
Yeah.
I hadn't seen that. I need to get out more.
I put it in here. You know, I had something to say about it. Obviously, I had something to say when I saw this.
But this goes back to the parents again, because let me tell you something. If I went to school when I was that age and some douchebag was trying to teach me how to, like, where the hell Turkey is on a map in geography class, or freaking teach me Latin, and he came in a skirt with a bunch of fake boobs, dude, my mom would have been in there not with one, but like 4 horsewhips and beating the shit out of that guy.
Right.
I kid you not. Yanked me out of school and brought me.
Well, good. So not only did the tranny teacher come like that, but the Ontario High School itself defends this teacher who wore these grotesquely large boobs with massive nipples poking out. And they said, no, we're gonna allow it because of inclusivity, right? So, you know, I asked this, you know, I guess I get to wear a spandex banana hammock with a 12-inch rubber schlong extension and wear big fake breasts at the same time with a see-through bikini to Catholic church and a mosque, and everybody has to praise me for being a brave soul to go out in public and demand everybody accept my mental sickness, because by God, we won't have standards, all right, that must be met. It's crazy. And crime is just a social construct, a relic of white European colonial imperialism being forced on brownish slaves around the world. So nothing is criminal. If you're a mental freak posing as a self-deprecating fool in desperate need of attention, right, and validation from everyone, it's to me, it's ridiculous, right? Right? Or maybe morality, law, decency, and self-respect should have their place. To me, it's incredible what's going on. I had to do a little rant.
It's so true, though. That person on his own should have enough self-respect to say, you know what? If I want to rock a giant set of tits or fake ones, excuse my language, whatever, do it at home. You know, behind closed doors. You're teaching impressionable young adults stuff. You know, come on.
That's right. They're sexualizing the children, saying, look, you can be the biggest freak on the planet, and you have to be allowed, and everyone has to praise you.
And you can't criticize.
That's right.
Oh, I do all the time. I don't give a flying shit what anybody thinks about what I say. Well, I know that you don't think anyone gives a flying fuck at a rolling donut, Nikki. We know that. Yeah, I gotta get ice. You got me all hot.
All right. Well, I tell you what, Darcy T has sent in a $100 super chat donation, and she says, take a shot of the good stuff. And indeed, Darcy, this is mother's milk right here. And I've been waiting for this one. I didn't know if anyone would do it or if I would have to wait, but and then Darcy also has something to say. Thank you very much, Darcy. Reload. All right, you reload, and boy, here we go.
I apologize, but you know, I had to get ice. It's hot out here.
Oh man, I tell you, a good scotch, mother's milk. Chris it looks like he's got a bed out on the beach. Boy, they sure live good down in Florida.
Oh crap, that's so cool.
Pretty cool, huh? Anyways, yes. Darcy P says, take a shot of the good stuff. Also, does anybody remember hobby shops? Slot cars. I used to love going there when I was a kid.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I remember the hobby shops. You can get remote control cars, helicopters. They were specialized, kind of like Ooman and Radio Shack. It seemed like everything you needed, it had its own separate store. And then the big box stores killed it all. And then they're like, well, we're not going to have things like slot cars, really. Hobby shops.
Right.
How are we going to create more Oomans? I mean, I remember visiting Ooman's shop, had a great day. We went to the range together that day, but he gave me a full tour. This guy can cut, form, shape, shoot it with a laser, weld, polish, all this amazing stuff. We're talking about 20 different talents all together like that. And it's hard to find anybody that just has one. anymore. Who's teaching the young people how to do just one of those things?
You bet.
Not many.
No.
I think it's going to go from father to son, mother to daughter, mother to son, whatever. Look at behind Nikki there. That's not a green screen. That's an actual Harley Davidson cafe racer.
That's Duke.
And Nikki just makes it look like it's the world's greatest sport. She's a knee dragging bitch.
That's my husband right there.
Yeah, but she can put one
I learned
together.
from my father. I work on that thing myself. If it breaks down, I can get it running.
Right.
Right. I'm a girl, still
amazing.
a girly girl, but I can work on that thing myself. I fix my own cars and bikes if I have to.
Yeah.
It's what everybody needs to learn, man. That's another part of prepared mind, right? I mean, if you're going down the highway, man or woman, it's all the same when you break down, right? Doesn't matter what you got between your legs. You need to know how to do stuff with these two things,
Well, you got a Sportster between your legs.
baby. Oh, I love that. I love shit that vibrates and has the potential to just explode because of a tank full of fuel.
Right, yeah.
Come on, man.
That fucking engine could hand grenade and just take you out with it. We got Vaughn can build a house from the ground up and develop property off the grid. I mean, it's incredible the skills we have as individuals, but it's not being taught in school. My school had welding shop, metal shop, wood shop, drafting, electrical shop, agricultural courses. This is just high school. You had to learn that shit.
Yeah.
You had to get a general education.
Yeah, and Nikki, so I just sent you a picture of that shop teacher in Canada. So you may want to take a look at that, and we want to see the look on your face.
Just turn off your microphone so you don't start a Tourette's moment thing there. Anyways, thank you, Darcy, for that great shot of scotch. That was absolutely delicious. And it's a great topic. Hobby shops were little pieces of life, real life skills. Kids could get a toy and literally I learned how to build a fucking V8 engine. It was an Oldsmobile engine when I was in first and second grade. It was a plastic see-through motor, and I had to build everything together. It had working valves, springs, crank, camshaft, timing gear, chain, all miniaturized in a clear plastic block so you could see it working. It was incredible.
No way.
Yep.
And guess where we got it? At a fucking hobby shop.
Yep.
Really?
Same thing
And
with
they
the
still make them, by the
invisible-
way.
They had an invisible man where you could put together a person and see where all the organs were and where the lungs were, I mean,
Yep.
Right.
I bet a lot of kids have no idea what a spleen is or where it is,
Nope.
Right. Well, they know that they have a pecker because they can see it. So the first thing they want to do is cut it off now.
And then, what is that called? A lop-off-dictomy?
It's a no
It ain't a
dictomy.
V8. It's like a V1 or something.
Yeah. Yeah, but I totally forgot until we started talking. I built a fucking V8 engine out of plastic when I was a kid.
Dude, that is so sexy. Are you kidding me? I would so have dated you back then. Wait, how old were you?
I was in first grade. I didn't have any stuff going on. Well, maybe a little bit. But also building rockets. Remember building rockets? You'd have to build the rocket and then buy rocket engines, and you can get 2- and 3-stage engines. I did that with my kids, shooting rockets into the air.
Had to tape your army man to it before you shot it off.
That too, yeah. You'd start taping shit to them, right?
Make sure it hits the neighbor's house.
Yeah,
right.
Right.
Was
Yeah. Playing with explosives when I was a kid. Yeah, okay. If one firecracker blows shit up, how many what does 10 firecrackers at once do? You learned about exponential math. You just learn shit.
Yeah.
It's fun. All right. Anyways, great topic. But what Jolene is telling me is we have more super chat donations. So let's do that. Let's get into some more of those. We got Red Pill on steroids with a 10-pound super chat donation. We got another person from England. Well, who else has the pound? Is it England and Scotland? Wales? Anyways, he says this. Christine, oh man. I'm going to need a drink just on this thought. Christine Lagarde or Janet Yellen in a thong. Chris, you get to go first.
I think I saw them on the beach this weekend. And it wasn't pretty.
It wasn't pretty. No. Vaughn, who would you like? Who's your horse, Christine or Janet?
Janet Yellen, she's a hot cow that I wouldn't mind, messing around with.
Yeah. Telling it like it is. Telling it like it is. You got the flavor saver going too there, man. She'd like that.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
All right, Uman, Christine Lagarde or Janet Yellen?
I plead the fifth.
And finally,
No good
Nikki, a
choice.
connoisseur of all things beautiful and natural. Christine Lagarde or Janet Yellen?
Dude, I'd rather put a thong on my work tool bench over here. I mean, that's just fucked up.
There's something about the smooth skin on the backside of Christine Lagarde. I don't think I could resist. You know.
This reminds me. This reminds me of a game my dad brutally made us play as kids.
No.
And it was called "What Would You Rather Do?" And I was probably about 4, and the game ended with me in tears because my dad gave me lick a pig's ass till it bleeds or drink a bucket of snot.
Oh man! Heart attack!
This question is exactly on that level.
It was so good being a dad. I remember being able to gross my kids out, and they're like, "Dad!" I love that shit. Yes, but yeah, really, that Janet Yellen. I'm just wondering if she in the sack, if she's a big yeller. I don't know.
I would wreck that.
You would wreck that.
I would show her the true meaning of the new Green Deal.
Oh my God! Oh my God! Okay, who put that up there again? Who took us down this fucking rabbit hole? Red pill on steroids. You're a bad man. All right.
He's a funny bad man.
If I puke up my 18-year scotch, I'm gonna be very angry. Very angry. Okay, let's change topics. A nice humorous stop though. We got Bob Hunter with a 20-pound super chat donation. I'm going to tell you, America, are you going to be out donated by England? We're getting more freaking British donations than we are American. Ah! All right, Brendan O'Connell on YouTube is worth checking out, John. A big elephant in the room is Israel and Kissinger, who was in the White House when Trump was inaugurated. Also, Israel penetrates U.S. critical infrastructure. This is an interesting topic and one that I tend to not really talk about a whole lot, but we do have infiltration in our government on many different levels. I am well aware that Israel, and what's their organization? It's not CPAC, it's, does anyone know it offhand? I haven't thought about it in a couple of days. Anyways, they've got a huge political action committee, the Israeli lobby movement. But we also have, of course, the World Economic Forum. We have the Trilateral Commission. We have the Council on Foreign Relations. We have money being funneled into politics. And they've infiltrated the bureaucracy, the legislature, and I pray that they haven't infiltrated the Supreme Court, but it wouldn't fucking surprise me because just this year we found out that, well, and it's something I never really understood or thought about, but Supreme Court justices getting paid big money to go overseas and talk at countries like Israel or Germany or England and give us their various opinions. They're being paid. They're taking money from nations that may not have our best interest at heart. And it seems to me that I remember at one point, it was illegal for politicians to take money while holding office. I mean, what the fuck happened? And someone jump on that.
And right there, they're bought and paid for. I mean, if you're in that high of a seat and you're supposed to be impartial, right off the bat, you take that kind of money, jump on an airplane and go all over the place and shoot off your pie hole, you're bought and paid for. Done deal.
Yep, you're taking money.
Just my
Quid
opinion.
pro quo is thy name.
Yep.
Right? Imagine this. Let's bring it home. Let's take it from the macro to the micro. If your spouse, your husband, your wife, whatever you have for a spouse, if your name is Obama, if they were paid $1 million to fly over to another country and give a speech and then come back to your house, are you really going to be able to believe anything they have to say? Or are you going to figure that my spouse is no longer really thinking about me, but wondering about the money they got and what the quid pro quo was? Right? Or do they really give a shit about us, or are they now looking out there to feather their own nest? Kind of like Nancy Pelosi going to Taiwan. Are we supposed to believe Nancy gives a fuck about the U.S. or California or Marin County? Chris?
This seems like they're in free for all, grab whatever you can before it's all gone mode. I mean, it's everybody's cutting a deal, everybody's getting paid somehow in this thing. It's just gotten worse and worse, and now it seems like we're just run by a kleptocracy of who can steal what the fastest. And I wouldn't say it's completely on one side of the aisle, because not saying anything about it or not doing anything about it raises huge suspicions in my mind, Mitch McConnell.
Was that a Freudian slip, Chris?
That was good.
What did I say?
All right.
What I say, Mitch? What I say, Nancy? Yeah. I mean, and even Republicans, Clarence Thomas, getting paid to speak to people. And I think his political opinion via the legal scholar route, can he be influenced? It's a question we have to ask, which is why I don't think it should be allowed. Right? Because then it speaks to the whether or not they've been bought. It has the appearance of impropriety.
Yeah, this whole system that they've put together with lobbyists and everything else has just gotten so out of hand. I mean, they should outlaw all of that.
Yeah, I think it used to be kind of like people holding office. We're not allowed to invest in Wall Street because it was considered insider trading, and they're financially benefiting by the decisions that they knowingly make.
Yep.
Again, just follow the money.
Follow the money, right, Vaughn?
Usually answers all your questions and solves all the problems,
I think it should be a public record that all these politicians' bank accounts and any holdings that they have should be public and known and be able to be questioned at any time. I mean, you see people like Nancy Pelosi, public servant, multi-millionaire. Her husband's getting these big-ass contracts. The insider trading that's going on is so blatant. In my opinion, politicians should be the poorest among us. They're public servants. How are they making millions of dollars, if not by scandalous ways?
Yeah, it used to be frustrating that they would get out of office and get these big high-dollar speaking engagements. Like, who the fuck really wants to pay, listen to Bill Clinton? But they sure were willing to pay him millions of dollars to make speeches.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
He made a lot of money after he got out of office.
All right. Well, I know we've got a couple super chats. I want to bring up this topic. And folks, by the way, we're at 90 fucking minutes. I love the roundtable discussions. It's just like time is just bam, 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 flipping by. But get this. This weekend, more pro-Russian Ukrainian officials were killed in, guess what? Explosions. What a coincidence, right? So here's what these politicians or these bureaucrats were killed. This is what they did. Elections bureaucrat, a prosecutor general, the head of the civil military bureaucracy, and they're pro-Russian, but they're Ukrainians. And somehow they were blown to fucking pieces. along with any nearby standers and family. So was it Putin killing pro-Russian Ukrainians, or would it make more sense that it was the West, that it was the U.S., that it was the CIA, that it was MI6 or Mossad, right? World Economic Forum subcontractors. Anyone want to touch this one, like Chris?
No, I don't. I'm not educated on that topic.
All right. Yeah, this weekend, more explosions. Remember when the Russian, the voice of Moscow, or the opinion of Moscow, or the voice of Russia, whatever that guy's nickname was, they tried blowing him up and blew up his daughter instead. So this weekend we have three separate Ukrainian, pro-Russian Ukrainians get blown to smithereens. Putin, the attempt to assassinate him last week, was followed by Vladimir Voldemort Zelensky having a car accident. We're getting a lot of this Archduke Francis Ferdinand type action with people getting whacked everywhere.
Right? Yeah.
Weren't there a couple of other Russians that dared to kind of try to team up on Putin? Didn't one of them jump off a boat accidentally or something like that and drown? Or there were a couple of other things.
It took too much chain when they went swimming.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, we've had some of them jump out of windows. Entire families, husband, wife, children killed, assassinated. Nikki, is that a cancer stick? Is that a coffin nail? What are you doing over there?
No, it's the other end of my ball gag. No.
I got you and Uman smoking old school cigarettes. I know Chris loves the e-cig or something like that.
Oh, really?
I prefer the stogie.
Yeah.
And Vaughn, what's your smoke, buddy?
Nothing. Just whiskey.
Yeah, I'm buying that one.
Yeah, I have a major issue with this whole, I'm actually shocked. It's always one thing after another they throw on us. And I'm sorry to just throw this out here, but you started it, with this Ukraine-Russia thing. This crap I kind of take personally, and I'm trying so hard to ignore it, not pay attention to it. But every day they got it plastered all over TV. I don't watch TV. Dingbat in there always has it on. So it's like I can't, yeah, he does. So I can't stand it. And it's like one thing, and remember, they're hammering us with this crap every day, but I will tell you guys this. As you know, technically, actually, I'm a widow. And I plan on staying that way. I'll never get married again. I learned from my mistakes, unlike most people. So, but I'm serious. Just being honest. So
that's why we love you, Nikki.
Yeah, Dingbat Randall. He's on the couch waiting for the dinner that's not going to come. So, and so what? I'm just being honest. But what pisses me off is that I'm a widow. My husband of well over a decade, he was Ukrainian, but he was basically all of our age because we're all about the same age up here. And you have to remember that this man was born and raised and grew up in what was known as the Soviet Union. And that stuff you had in one of your super chats with Turkmenistan, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, all that, that's all Soviet Union, former Soviet Union, by the way. So anyway, but when it comes, I can only speak for Ukraine because I've been there a few times. And I love the people there. They're wonderful. They're fiercely patriotic to their country like we are to ours. However, I will tell you this, being married to Steve at that time, and I had the car service, all my drivers were Russian and all that stuff. This guy identified as a Russian, 100%. Loved Russia, loved everything about it. And if you go to Ukraine, as much as they love their country and they're fiercely patriotic to it, a lot of the, depending on what age group you get in, they literally think and act like Russians. They love Russia. To them, it's like kind of almost one thing. And it's really weird because if you watch TV here, they make it look like, oh, Russia's so bad and they're abusing Ukraine and all. It's such crap. on a personal level with the actual people when you go there. They're amazing. And, this guy, and his father was military high up. I won't get into that now. But, they talked about a lot of stuff. I learned an awful lot right in the middle of Ukraine I was in, and these people think and act like Russians. So what you said makes sense. It wasn't Russia that did this to these people. It's an agenda. It's something else going on there. Because all in all, these people don't want this division, and suddenly the media is creating this crap because we don't have enough to deal with, right? There always has to be a new drama. Crap. It's total bullshit.
Yeah, I can 100% back you up on that. I only spent a few months in Ukraine, but these guys discuss this stuff at the bar, anywhere. They love their politics, and like you said, they're so proud. But most of them, I think it's at least 60% or more, identify as their homeland is Russia.
Yes, they do.
Yeah. And
I don't speak Russian for no
so.
reason. I was married to a Ukrainian, and I speak fluent Russian. Read it, write it. I speak it because that's what he spoke. And he's Ukrainian.
Da, Nikki.
Da, baby. Ooh, yeah.
Hey guys, sorry to.
Here we go. Well, we got a couple more super chats. Let's see what comes up next for a topic for the Knights of the Round Table here on Sunday Night Live at the Zoo. Jolene, what do we got next? And I know she's there. She just sent me a message. She may be drinking some vodka in honor of Nikki's response there. Or
yes.
Vaughn.
Hey, it's Oktoberfest. You got to be drinking the Apfelkorn and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah. I've got scotch and rum.
I gotta take off. The kids are wanting to get out of here, but thanks for having me on. I'll be listening in the truck.
All right, thank you, Vaughn, for stopping in and sharing your opinions, man.
You have a good night, man.
And tell Gavin whatever the fuck his name is to kiss my ass in California. I hate that fucking guy. There was literally a city up where I used to live in California burned to the fucking ground. The whole city, the whole mountain, the whole forest a few years ago. The bastard shows up, gets out of his car, takes a few pictures as a self-promoting public, stunt. And before anyone could say a word to him, or he addresses the people who were victimized by the state of California not putting this fire out, he gets back in his car and runs away. He is just a chicken shit bastard, and I think that's too much of a compliment. All right.
Wow.
Anyone else want to jump on Gavin Newsom? Oh, you know what that means? We got William Nipper, and he says $49.99, closest I can get to $50. Great show so far. I got to tell you, every time we do a Knights of the Round Table, he's bought me a tasty Captain Morgan spiced rum shot, and I'm going to go for it. Thank you, William.
His name's close to nipple, so I'll drink to that, baby.
Oh, shit. Here we go.
Yeah. Cheers, bitches.
Cheers to that.
Third hour should get interesting.
Dude, that's like brilliant. William, can you imagine if he changed his name to William Nipple? That would be priceless. That would be awesome. Dude, I would totally take him out on a date, man. I mean, I can't fit you on the back of the bike, but fuck it. We'll make it work.
Folks, if you ever get a chance to meet Nikki in person, she is exactly the same as she is right here. She's funny, she's interesting, and she'll catch you off guard, and you'll choke on your own tongue if you're not ready for anything that could fly out of her mouth. Look out.
Or choke on my ball gag, because I do pack those. I will in December, too.
Tied properly, that won't fall out of your mouth. And thank you again, Nikki, for sending those avocados over. They were amazing. Great avocados.
I don't know what to do with them.
Yeah, and well, send me some more, damn it.
Okay.
I'll give some I'll send some down to Chris and send some over to Uman there. Great avocados, but also that birdhouse. It's got a spot outside there, and I couldn't believe you shipped me that fucking birdhouse. The thing weighs like 50 pounds.
No,
It's made out of petrified wood.
That's a John bird. That's a Viking birdhouse right there, man. My mom didn't screw around when.
I don't think so. You could probably build a boat out of that fucking thing. It was incredible.
Yeah, that thing is serious. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like just anyways. Yeah,
For
10 giant
decoration, no, it's not for
avocados
birds
and a
and
birdhouse
shit,
made
man.
out of concrete. You know, it probably cost $500 in UPS. Anyways, thank you, Nikki. That was awesome. Okay, here we go. We got another super chat donation. If you got something to say, I'll make you famous. Hit that button up there and support the show. We got Diorce with 919, which is the 9x19 millimeter Parabellum. Says, does anyone know what happened to that piece of shit weasel, David Hogg? David Hogg was the student from the school shooting Nikki referred to down there at Parkland, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, David Hogg. But it turned out there's a lot of research went in behind the scenes. Like David Hogg was actually in his 20s at that point, and he wasn't a student anymore. But since he had that boyish charm that I was going to say something mean, but maybe I should just say it anyways. Yeah, he's the type of guy that probably made his money in the bathroom. Anyways.
Don't worry about me. He's actually worse than I am.
Anyways, that little fucker. He tried showing up in Congress a few weeks ago. David Hogg showed up in Congress, started interrupting Congress official business. Well, I remember when the January 6th protesters were said to, well, part of their crime was interrupting Congress, official United States business. They should be locked up forever. That's treason. That's insurrection. And so David Hogg was just kind of swept aside again. You know, no one gives a fuck about him. Have you heard anything else about David Hogg? Any of you?
No.
No, I hear his name pop up once in a while, and it's like, oh, geez. I'm waiting for and there I was, and an insurrection broke out. I mean,
right. Yeah, he's a little fuck. I would love to meet one of these guys, one of these days, one of these self-promoting little bastards that has CNN's number on their phone, so they can just create a shitstorm and then have someone record it.
Mm-hmm. What kind of stupid name is that anyway? That's like, you might as well show up and be called like Paulina Vagina or something. It's stupid. What's wrong with that name? My name's David Hogg. Yeah, I'm never going to phone your ass or blow you or do anything like that because your name is just stupid, dude. All right.
I found it offensive that these people exploit tragedy for political purposes.
Yes, that's what happened here.
It used to be a school shooting. There's sadness and, hey, we got to fix this. Then the left wing jumped on it as, well, we need gun control then. And so it wasn't until that went, time after time after time where Republicans, or shall we say patriots, started saying, wait a minute, if they're going to politicize this, we should. Let's make this a pro-Second Amendment approach and start arming teachers. I think that's gone a long way in helping the pro-America, pro-freedom movement. Is okay, if you're going to politicize it, we shall as well, and we'll see which one actually makes common sense. Right? Should we make
kind of scary though to think
zones, or should we make schools armed zones?
Kind of scary though to think what arming some of these teachers might do.
Good point. Yeah, because a lot of them are retarded. Yeah, I wouldn't want them teaching me, but
the ones who I think would accept the responsibility of being trained and having a firearm, I think they would probably be more like us, more conservative, more Republican, more constitutional. And the others would just, run around like their hair was on fire, screaming like a little girl and, hiding under their desks. And that's what they should do. They're qualified to do that.
Mm.
Yep. Now, Nikki, on the other hand, don't mess with her. She'll fuck you up. And then when she's done fucking you up, she'll fuck you up some more, just to teach you a bigger lesson. All right.
I'm really nice. I can't do that. I'm a really nice person. I don't mess anybody up.
I think we're all really nice people until we're crossed. Chris, same way. Man, same way. What is that? Oh, it's you've been riding horses again. That's great, Nikki. Thanks for showing us your riding crop.
I'm a nice girl.
Yes, you are.
That's our story, and we're sticking to
all
it.
that stuff for the. Like that's what I told you. If you were down here in Parkland,
and you got the marks to prove it, man.
Right? Yeah. They forgot about the shooting 24 hours later. I kid you not, guys. It was literally about being on TV, like John said. It's all about, who TikTok. Can, get some TV time and, oh my God, I'm so important. And I'll tell you what, if I was one of those kids, again, my mom would have stepped in and kicked my ass. She really would have. Like, what's the matter with you? Have some respect for people. It was a bad thing. A lot of people died, and this is not an opportunity for you to put your stupid face on TV,
right.
Which
I would taught the kids that all the value is in some sort of social following. Yes. They think that's got some value to it. To be an influencer.
If you didn't see all this stuff popping up on the news constantly, like Nikki said, it would all be forgotten in 5 minutes. If they were to advertise all the shootings that happen every weekend here in Chicago, like they do when one of these other events happen, why don't they do that? Because then they'd have to fix the problem.
Yeah. I don't know. I felt like I was the most important influencer on the planet with my two sons, raising them. I mean, this show is important because we're talking to people all over the world about really important topics. But I really, the level of importance I feel here is nothing compared to how the level of responsibility of having children. The fact that these parents accept no responsibility and teach their children lowest common denominator skills is incredible. And we're going to pay for it. We're paying for it now.
Yep.
Oh, right. Jolene, I think we got another super chat. Question, comment, story, and good God, it's East Texas Country Boy with a $50 super chat donation. So that means I get to pull out the bottle of Captain Morgan one more time.
Crap.
And good golly. And everyone, Nikki, what do you got there?
This is homemade from avocado leaves, tea, and a shitload of vodka. So, but I mean, that's how I roll. But I'm just being honest. I know Chris is like, God, she's a lost cause because he's such a good boy, but I'm not. I don't care.
I feel like the Tin Man been out in the rain. I'm frozen. Avocado vodka?
Avocado leaves. I make tea out of it. It makes this dark tea. Well, this is it. But I told you I didn't have a better container to put it in. It's very dark. What? That's what it is.
South Florida moonshine.
Pretty much. And then I'm like, and then you just count for a while you're dumping the vodka, and then I mix it. And maple syrup,
And maple syrup.
Yeah. It's got to be a little sweet because the shit's strong, man. And I had ice cubes, but they all melted, so that really sucks ass. I keep having to get ice cubes for my cup. Yeah,
Nikki, you're close to the bottom. You're close to the bottom when you're drinking out of Tupperware.
Oh, fuck off! Yeah, you know what? I told you what happened.
You definitely need to re-examine your life when you're drinking from Tupperware. That's okay.
I'm on the bottom, baby. But if you were here, you'd have a good time. So
I would. That's a big batch you got going there.
Yeah, I do. You need to start working out. I'm going to be there in December. So your pie hole, your ass is writing checks. Your You're the other way around. Your mouth is right. Checks your ass.
Wow.
Cash.
Damn.
I've got the tools. I'm bringing them with me because the man needs to be straightened out.
Wow.
You know. And you're next.
Chew your ass right off.
Cash that, bitch. You don't have to pay taxes on it either.
God, I love that kind of talk.
I know you do. Oh, he's so cute.
All right,
It's
East
so
Texas Country
convincing
Boy,
when he
thank
says
you
it.
for that
He's like,
awesome
"Oh."
donation and for making Nikki say all those bad words. He says,
Oh, I'm sorry.
this is what he has to say. Thank you for the shot and thank you. He says, the left don't care about gun control, immigration, or any tyrannical steps they push. They know it's either Revolution 2.0 or Civil War 2.0. They pray they can divide us so Civil War will happen and maybe they'll have criminals on their side and get a 50-50 chance. I think this is a really interesting perspective to take a look at this from. All joking aside, when you say the left doesn't really care, what I'm going to say is the people paying the left, what they want is divisiveness and fighting and bickering and violence. So yeah, they want to invite violence over gun control and invite violence over illegal immigration and invite violence over everything that they push that's unconstitutional, including the freak shows that want kids to be sexualized, the destruction of education in America, the destruction of our military. I think that they really do. They want either a revolution or civil war, partisan conflict. This is their goal because that will bring America down and they have a better chance of taking control of it while it's in dire straits, if you will. Social, political, economic chaos. Because if we're going to listen to the Illuminati, they say they want order out of chaos. Ooman. Jolene, go ahead and bring that down so we can see Ooman's lips. And there it is. Thank you very much. Nikki, you've got your turn coming there. All right. Anyways, addressing that, this is one of Oliver's things. What are they doing, man?
Yeah, I mean, they don't care which way it goes. They're just trying to cause division. They're demonstrating that with the way they're handling this whole illegal immigrants to cities thing and all the cities all freaking out. They don't, they should be welcoming them with open arms if they really gave a crap about them. And, it's with everything. I mean, they're all using all these people, whether it's these LGBTs community people or whatever, they're using them as pawns just to cause conflict to get to wherever it is they're looking to go with it.
Right. Before I get to Chris's opinion, I mean, get this. NBC actually tweeted this. This is a quote. This is a tweet, but they took it down. Florida Governor DeSantis sending asylum seekers to Martha's Vineyard is like me taking my trash out and just driving to different areas where I live and throwing my trash there. They actually referred to these illegals as trash. But yeah, so it's not about we love these illegals and we love all these brown people and we want to love them in our neighborhoods. It's about a political movement and calling them trash. Yeah. So
it's also all NIMBYism, they want a virtue signal and they want to look like the good guys that they all care so much, but just don't do it in my backyard.
Right. Yeah, that's they want division and they want conflict and they want us destroyed. Chris, what's your opinion on this effort to destroy America by any means necessary?
Well, I got a fair amount to say about this one because the question stated Civil War II or Revolution II. And I just, we didn't start this fire, to quote a great song. They did. So I'm not promoting any violence or action like this. But if they push it to CW2 or Revolution 2, let's all just remember we're dealing with a small group of people that can barely stitch a sentence together, working for a government that almost everything they do, they bungle. If they give more money to fatherless pregnant women, they get more pregnant women. If they spend more money on poverty, they get more poor people. If they do a war on drugs, they get more drugs. Name one thing that they've actually been able to accomplish other than destruction. They only know how to tear things down. Zero. It is parrot goose eggs, right, man?
Yep.
I mean, everything they touch, they claim that they love the Latinx, and the Latinx are like, well, who the hell are you talking about? We're Hispanics, we're Latinas, we're Latinos. Now they've lost the Hispanic vote. Everything they touch, they bungle, including their own plans. And I'm not worried one bit about people that about a government that thinks that maybe, what was it? They thought Guam would flip over if too many people got on one side. I mean, these are the people
Hank Johnson said that.
Yeah.
This is who we will face, and they can characterize us as a bunch of banjo picking redneck hayseeds. But I tell you what, we know our stuff. We know how we know it, and we know what to do about it. And I think it's going to be another big backfire. I don't know. I forget what was the other huge backfire. Before they started calling people trash and kicking them out of Martha's Vineyard. There's another. Oh, it was Biden's blood red stage and that whole thing. I mean, they erased that from the web faster than Jiminy Cricket. You couldn't find it anywhere anymore. They're bunglers. They
fuck everything up, Chris.
Before, but I would say if that's the way they want it, then I dare them.
Yep. Well, I'll tell you what, man. I'm switching the format here. Speaker gets the big picture. That was great, Chris. Thank you very much. You nailed it. They fuck everything up, and they even when they look like complete idiots, they still push their narrative as if they didn't do anything wrong. Like Jill Biden is gonna get this. Believe it or not, I'm not making this shit up. Jill Biden is gonna host a Hispanic heritage event 3 months after comparing Latinos to breakfast fucking tacos. I mean, what's she going to call them this time? Fajitas or chimichurros? I mean, give me a fucking break. Don't choke on your tongue there, Nikki. Anyways, yeah, you're right. Everything they do, they screw up. But even screwing up, Chris, let me proffer this to you. Even screwing up, do they accomplish their goal of causing division, strife, anger, and hatred?
Well, yes, but who do they stir up? A bunch of apathetic people that live in mom's basement, or a bunch of working class, hardworking people that have something to lose?
Nikki, what do you think?
What he said. Really, no, I'm serious. That's true. I mean,
what he said.
Yeah, because who do they stir up? And
Right.
I'll tell you something. If you're really passionate and you've got a brain in your head, the better man will win. If you stir up the emotions in the right human being that's on the right side, eventually it will prevail. I hope. I think.
I mean, what's at stake?
Yeah.
What's at stake for Joe Sixpack that works his ass off, saved his whole life, finally gathered a few things together to defend, and by the way, has skills. I mean, which horse would you back? I think the other side. Actually, Nikki brought it up. They care more about their 15 seconds on TikTok, acceptance of their friends, sparing everyone's feelings. None of that has any. There's no currency in that if they push it to the point where people are actually rebelling.
Yeah, well, the way I see it right now is that it looks like you got a small percentage of people on the left side, and then you got a small percentage of people on the right side. They're all stirred up. We're looking at probably 95% of the country. You ask them about this stuff, and they know nothing about it. until it starts hitting them in the pocketbook like it is now with the gas prices and the food prices and everything else. They're completely apathetic. They don't know about this stuff. They're not paying attention to this stuff. They just want to be left alone and live their lives. And they make it seem like these two small little percentages on either end are the majority of the country. And I just don't see it that way.
Well,
I
can
think
see
was
that.
Absolutely brilliant. Oh, sorry, Chris. I'll get back to you instantly.
All right.
You nailed it, Chris. Ooman, you nailed it. Nikki, you nailed it. The most outspoken and people who believe the strongest, the most intelligent, and then the stupidest on the left. And yeah, you're right, Ooman. They try and present them as the majority of people in their opinion out there. It's an incredible subject, but as long as they get their destruction, they're there. Chris, back to you.
Oh, I'm just going to add that Uman's right. It is an illusion that they're painting, and it sells airtime, it sells advertising, stuff like that. But people do have to remember that Congress is 435 people. Those are the entire 330 million people in our country are in the hands of 435 people. I don't think they stand a chance.
Wow, what a great topic. Nikki, do you want to add any more to that, or have we said enough?
No, he's right.
Okay. It's an incredible topic, the idea of pitting everyone against everyone, and then having the loudest amongst us screaming and yelling at each other, and then the vast majority in the middle saying, well, I don't know shit. I'm going with what the people in my family say or my work says. They don't really have an opinion. The revolution was fought by 3% on one side and a couple of battalions of English on the other side, and we're heading that way again. Do you know, and let me bring this up very quickly about the Civil War. The first battle of the Civil War was attended by an army from the north, an army from the south, and a spectator of wealthy people who wanted to watch it all. They actually showed up on the sidelines to watch people kill each other to decide a political question. Can you fucking believe that?
Money.
That's a fact. That's a historical fact.
I think another tipping point comes in the balance of who's on what side. The tipping point comes when the government is so broke they can't live up to any of the promises that got them elected. And when people start realizing that they're getting absolutely nothing for the taxes they pay, and the people that don't even pay taxes aren't even getting anything from the politicians they support, this is kind of the thin line that they're walking right now. I mean, we're broke and sending billions overseas and all this wastefulness. I think a lot more people end up falling on the side of, hey, if I got to pick a side, I think I'll pick the side that lets me do what Uman said, and that is just live my life and be left alone. And that's the libertarian in me. I just want to be left the hell alone, and I want to leave everybody else alone. But I think that this backfire is just going to keep steamrolling, and you're going to get more red-pilled people than you thought, who you thought weren't paying attention, because it's getting closer and closer to home as inflation and the devaluation of the currency moves all the spending down the spending pyramid to just food.
Yeah.
I really like that opinion. You shared it with me the other day, Chris. The longer this goes on, the more it affects people on a personal level, the more they're going to fucking wake up and realize, hey, I didn't mind when they did that one thing or that other thing, but when they did the thing that hurt my butt, got into my wallet, affected me personally, now I'm waking up and paying attention. So the longer this takes, the more red-pilled America and the world is going to get. And it may not be for the benefit of the people that we have said seem to fuck everything up that they're trying to do.
Well,
so they could be their own worst enemy ultimately. Chris?
The thing they're really, really afraid of is what? Right now, what are they really afraid of? It's inflation, because they know that spiraling hyperinflation just tips all the pieces off the chessboard for them.
Right. Nikki, do you want to add anything?
No, I totally agree with him because I'm living it here every day. You know, it's a ridiculous inflated market here in Florida. If you want to come here, I don't care if you want to buy a house or rent one. I hope you have a bank account because it's unobtainium right now. It's so stupid. It is. It's ridiculous. And,
I rented a 2-bedroom here so I could rent out half of it so that I can still live near the beach. I mean, that's the only way.
You're brilliant, Chris. You're brilliant.
Yeah. It's terrible, though. And this kind of stuff cannot keep going forever. You know, eventually it's like, I always say on simpler terms when I try to talk to dingbats, you know, near me, it's like you have a glass, you turn on the faucet in the sink, you fill it up with water. Eventually, the glass is full. And then the water just comes out and keeps going. It's pointless, right? Yeah. You know, this cannot keep going like this.
No, none of it is
when
sustainable.
this all goes to shit, it's going to make 2008 look like a warm-up. What was it, 07, 08? That was horrendous here in Florida. I don't know about the rest of you guys, but it was bad. A lot of people lost their homes. There were foreclosure signs. Like if you even drove down my street, every other house had a foreclosure sign. You know, it's going to make it look like a warm-up. It's unsustainable what's going on. You know, it's going to be really bad.
Wow, thank you, Nikki. I tell you what, where I'm at, I'm a general contractor, so I work in that section of the economy, and there's a lot of discussion about people moving from north south, the pain, the difficulty. It just doesn't matter. I mean, it's going to get nasty, and hell, that's why we do the food, water, yada yada, shelter, clothing, medicine, because we see what's coming. It's just getting more difficult. And I guess it doesn't matter where you're at, whether you're up north or down south, we're all going to experience it from a different perspective, but we're all going to experience it. What a great topic. This has been fucking great. I love it. And thank you guys for coming to the Knights of the Round Table. And I really do appreciate it. And even though we're past 2 hours, guess what? We have more Super Chat donations. So let's get to those. We got Johnny Freedom Seed. And here he says, here's to having Cottage Farms in the round table. She definitely deserves it. And as always, Semper Fi. Johnny, Cottage Farm is always here in spirit, but on the show is not Cottage Farm. It's Super Nikki. That's doing stuff with Nikki. Cottage Farm, she's out there. She's doing her thing. But yeah, this is Nikki on the round table. I would love to have Cottage Farm on, though, actually, getting different people with really good perspectives. I'd love to have Darcy T. I'd love to have Bonnie Blue. I'd love to have John join us. And we may do that because having Nikki here has just been a blessing and a curse all at once, having a variety of opinions and fun. It's just been great. Thank you very much for that donation. It keeps me in Spam, tuna fish, and scotch, as well as rum. Anyways, let's keep going. Super chat donation. Who's next, Jolene? We got William Nipples again with $9.99 super chat donation. And he says, LOL, Nikki, I went to high school in the 80s where people had a sense of humor, and I had a few black friends, and they used to, I should change my last name to P's and G's. I don't know what that means because I'm inebriated now after all these super chat donations.
I don't get that.
Replace the P's with the G's.
Let's see. William. We're not allowed to say that anymore because it's only in every rap song, but you can't say those words because, bad. Yes.
You're my hunky, John.
I remember I went to high school in this really rural up in the mountains school district, and we had just a couple of black guys, growing up in high school. And we had one of those motivational speakers. Maybe you guys had this. I don't know what you're doing there, Nikki, but stop it. We used to have these things. What do they call them when a speaker would come, Chris, and they'd speak to the whole school? It was a rally. There you go, a rally. And they would put us all in the gym and they'd have a speaker, right? Well, one of these motivational speakers that taught us great lessons about life, experience, education, the importance of being open-minded and smart back when it was about logic and critical thinking. Anyways, this is a black guy. He showed up and he spoke for about 5 minutes and then he just stopped. He was like, wait a minute. He goes, I think I'm the only chocolate chip in this whole cookie. It was fucking hilarious, right? Because I didn't think anything of the fact that he was black. No one else really thought anything, but there's only 2 black guys in school at that time. And everyone just started laughing and then we clapped because it was funny. We didn't notice. We didn't give a fuck that he was black, but it was just kind of interesting. It's like, oh yeah, how about that thing? And it's no big deal. But now, if now they'd show up and go, oh my God, this is a white racist, school because there's not enough diversity here. That's stupid shit. Anyways, I ranted. Let's move on. Jolene, we got a super chat donation. We got one left. What do we got left? All right. Oh shit, we got BG Guns with a $4.99 super chat donation. And this is a great question, and we get this all the time, BG, and it's good to see you, my brother from another mother. And I think BG was down in Florida, but now he's in Texas. I mean, what a great opportunity. Do you want Texas or Florida? They're both great. He says, how long do you guys think the system will keep going before it crashes and chaos begins? Ooh, man, let's start with you. Your predictions.
We've talked about
prognostications. Me interrupting you.
We've been talking about this a long time. And I mean, by all standards of anything normal, it should have happened a long time ago. And if they've been able to kick the can this far down the road, who knows how much longer they can do it. And I think we discussed last time a little bit about how as long as we're the least shitty of the currencies out there, we're still the best currency, no matter how shitty it is. And, you take one down, you take them all down. And if you think that the United States going down isn't going to have a negative effect, I mean, you're crazy. It's going to affect the whole world. And if it wasn't going to be like that, then I think they would have already made a move against the United States to try to take us down. But I don't know. We're all so interdependent, and there's so many common ties in the background that we know absolutely nothing about. It's anybody's guess.
Okay. Nikki, how long until chaos turns into, or I'm sorry, civility turns into chaos?
Oh boy.
Your prediction, your prognostication.
Well, I think they're going to be able to continue to drag this on for quite some time, to be honest with you. And the reason why I've always thought that is that every year that goes by, especially with this nonsense the last 2 years, people get softer. And as long as we have people with silicone boobs and nipples teaching our kids in school and all that crap, and they grow up, into adults and all that stuff, they're going to ignore everything that's going on. They're not going to know what you're talking about in the real world as far as everything's collapsing. And on the flip side of it, they're going to keep limping the system along, keep those printing machines running, if you will, just to be simple, because it gets complicated. You know what I mean? Like Oliver said, I'm sorry, Umen. I'm sorry, Umen.
You can use my name. Everybody knows me as Oliver or Umen.
Oh, okay. So. All right. I'm sorry. Yeah. So, but the thing is, it should have imploded a long time ago. Like you said, realistically, if you're a math person, and you do the numbers, this shit should have imploded a long time ago. I mean, come on, like Gary hates me because I always tell him he cracks his wallet open. I'm like, that's worth shit. Like, I can wipe my ass with it, literally. It's not worth anything right now. Oh yeah, I got $200 in my wallet. good luck with that asshole, because it's not worth anything. It already isn't. But nobody thinks like this right now. And this young generation, this is scaring me right now because they're coming up going, as long as I can buy another iPhone or some dumbass Chinese toy, they don't give a crap because they really do not understand the value of money, and work equals money. So this is why I think we should go back to old times like labor. What you do with these two things equals value, money. And when you start putting labor in, and really have to earn it, then you understand what money's all about. And then you sit there like me and go, these idiots I see on TV and everything, they're all dumbasses. You know what I mean? So I actually do not think all this stuff like we're going to implode tomorrow. I'm not buying it. They're going to keep this shit limping along by distracting people with all this dumb shit that's going on everywhere. Like today there's a war in Ukraine. Tomorrow it's going to be like, I don't know, some stupid town you can make up that nobody's ever heard of, Oh, we just dropped something on them, and everybody's paying attention to that on TV while they're not really addressing the real issue here, that we're all screwed. But they're going to keep limping it along as long as you can print shit. So I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. But we're going to pay for it in the supermarket, at the pump, and everywhere else. That's what I think. Yeah.
Great opinion, Nikki. Thank you. Chris, what do you say, brother?
Well, I think both Uman and Nikki brought up good points about especially the gullibility of most people now. I mean, they can come up with a new crisis. They can invent a new currency, kick the can. All I can say is that we're closer to the end of the current regime than we are to the beginning. Things should have crashed and been corrected in 2008. Instead, we printed trillions of dollars, made a whole bunch of people rich, increased the wage gap to the point where that end is closer, in my opinion. And what I think is what I said before, when people lose faith in all of the institutions, my Social Security it doesn't pay for shit. Medicare isn't enough for my health needs or make me any better. This whole grand illusion that I've been paying into for all this time. When I call the cops, they don't come. Crime is off the hook. I mean, if you look at certain parts of Chicago, you'd think chaos had already ensued, and this is on a daily basis. But I do think they'll try a bunch of stuff to kick the can down the road, but the end point to me is the same, and I'm afraid that I would have to say that unless we see some drastic, at least a change in direction, a little less hell, a little less confusion, a little less a little less atrocities in our face every day in the news. We got to turn this corner, because we are not turning that corner. It's accelerating. So if we don't turn that corner, I would say by the 2024 election, I think it's time to strap up and be ready. Buckle up, buttercup. Be ready for the worst. We all know. I mean, we hope that the next 2 years after this election will kind of create a lame duck. What do you say, man?
I certainly hope so. I mean, the less this guy does, the better at this point, which is pretty sad to say. But if they can keep him from doing more destructive stuff and then hopefully get somebody back in there. I mean, I always said, I was not a big Trump fanboy, but he did good stuff for the economy, and we need to get that back in here. We need to get our energy independence back. We need to stop all this green energy shenanigans and bullshit. So, as long as we can get back onto that track, I mean, things will improve slowly and gradually. But what inevitably what inevitably will happen is another 1 or 2 election cycles, chances are the greenies get back in and destroy it all again. So it's a very frustrating situation because people don't have a memory or make those connections. So I don't know. It's a vicious, never-ending cycle.
I'll tell you one thing that I remember, and I wasn't a Bill Clinton fan, but in the second half of his first term, when Congress became split, remember he had full control of all houses of he had both houses of Congress and the executive branch, just like Obama did for the first 2 years. So the first step, if it's step by step, turning that corner to where things get a little bit better. Now that you're mentioning it, I think just creating a balance of power and taking away at least the House or Senate from the Democrats in November, that would be very encouraging. At least that they're going to be able to kick the can down the road, because that'll make Biden basically a lame duck. They can fight out every bill that the left brings up. And actually, the Clinton years were economically pretty good after Clinton lost full control of all 3 houses.
All right. That was perfect. I love how these different opinions all lined up. Jolene, let's put the question back up if we can from BG Guns, who made that super chat. He says, how long do you guys think the system will keep going before it crashes and chaos begins? Thank you, Jolene. Let's take BG out of the picture. I love what every one of you guys said. It was awesome. Here's what I want to add to that, is they can kick the can down the road. People are too fucking stupid to realize and apathetic. Most Americans. They're not preppers. They're not thinkers. They do as they're told. They'll keep it going as long as they can, and people will suffer as much as they have to until those in power, the puppet masters, decide it's time for chaos. They pull the trigger and we get another 2020. If they think they're going to lose control of the economy, they'll cause something to happen and then blame it on that. If they're going to lose the election and it goes the way they don't want, they're going to cause chaos, just like they did in 2020. And that's when the shit hits the fan. That's when BG Guns, brother, that's when the chaos happens. Not because we can't hold it together, because we're not civil enough, because we're not doing well enough, but because the powers that be make the situation happen, create the chaos that they need to cover their asses and make us have to deal with it. That's kind of my thought on it. But damn, that was a good one. Or am I just drunk? And this sounded like we were really a bunch of intellectuals. But I think that
was brilliant.
Hey, the more I drink, the smarter I sound to myself.
That's how I'm looking at it. I mean, it really seems like they can do so many things just by fooling us and lying to us and manipulating the system. And people are lazy and apathetic, and they'll be hypnotized by the propagandists. But ultimately, when they want the chaos, BG Guns, that's when it happens, and that's why we need to be prepared all times. Let me be the big mouth here. We need to be prepared ahead of time. All of those things that we talk about, because at some point they lose control, or some point, right, they need the direction to go someplace else. That's when the chaos happens, whether they use race or the economy or war or something else. That's when chaos comes, and we got to be ready for it. All right, I think we've got one more super chat donation. We'll go long just like always, and I want to thank you guys for hanging in there. And the 3 of you, Nikki, man, Chris, thank you for going long on the Sunday Night Live Knights of the Round Table. I really appreciate you guys stepping in and joining the show, bringing a lot of color, a lot of opinions. And folks, this is what I get from you guys and these guys all the time. I get information, opinion, thoughts. All of this stuff helps us make this show amazing. And behind the scenes, of course, is Jolene, who coordinates it all. Thank you again. We got one more super chat donation, I think. So let's get it back up there. It is BG Guns again with $1.99. He says, anytime you want me, I'm on. LOL. Holy cow. So BG, you say you want to be a Knight of the Round Table? Let's do it, man. Let's get you on next time we do this. It'll be about 1 month, and somehow we'll get a hold of you, man. Get Jolene. Put it up in the comments, whatever you need to do for BG. Get the email address so that we can start communicating with him behind the scenes. It looks like we're all done with super chat donations.
Not really.
No, you're not.
Well, just because I'm here doesn't mean I can't contribute. I always contribute.
You've contributed enough trouble all night long, and I really do appreciate it.
Yeah, drink up, bitch. All right, whatever.
Drink up, bitch. Thank you there, Nikki. You're a bad customer.
Oh, I have to say, thank you so much for letting me hang out with you. I think it's awesome. I really appreciate it. I truly do.
You and everyone, just it's incredible. The show is not about me or Uman or Chris or you. It's about all of us and sharing all these ideas. It's fun. It really is for me fun. It's exciting. It lets me escape the boring cave troll lifestyle I have here in the bunker. Every now and then I get out. I see the sun. If I see my shadow, I come back in the bunker for 6 weeks. Actually, I'm fibbing. Actually, now, as I said the other day, I'm a contractor who makes contractors sure to do their contracting work. And if not, I have to be a contractor and eliminate them. So just go ahead and guess what kind of contractor I am. Anyways, thank you to all you. Whoops, we got Dior's checking back in with a 1776. I wonder what he's like what referring to with that. Anyways, thank you, Dior's. A huge 1776 super chat donation. He says, "Keep on keeping on," and that's what Heidi likes to say. And Heidi has been behind the scenes supporting the channel also. Thank you, Heidi. But Dior's, thank you. He says, "Keep on keeping on, John and Uman. From a Navy veteran to a Marine, I say Semper Fortis. I say Semper Fi, Semper Fidelis, always faithful." Semper means always, by the way, folks. It's not just for the Marines. These sayings, these thoughts we have, they're different expressions for Americanism. For loving our country, loving freedom, loving one another. Don't you think that's interesting that we want America and these fuckers on the left and these rhino Republicans want to destroy it? God bless America, right? And fuck Joe Biden. Before we close, we close everything down, I want to give each of you a chance to say some parting words. Chris, let's start with you.
Thanks for having me on, John. It was fun to volley ideas back and forth with Uman and Nikki.
Yes,
it was a great show, and yourself as always. And I think it's a great idea to get some other people on there too. This has been fun.
Yep. Thank you, Chris. Uman, what you got, brother?
I just want to say thanks to everybody for coming out and playing with us tonight. Always a lot of fun. And glad Nikki was able to join us tonight. And we will be seeing you guys tomorrow at the regular Subscribe Star preparedmind.club channels. And if you're not there, you need to get there and join in the conversation every day.
Thank you, man. That's great. Yeah, I love the weekly conversations. The zoo is a fucking train wreck, which is great. I love it. I love it all, though. It really helps me unload a bunch of shit that happens during the day after reading all this stuff. Whether I have the show or not, I'm going to build that up. Anyways, Nikki, what do you want to give us as your parting words before we close this episode of the Knights of the Round Table?
This is like really weird because I'm rarely at a loss for words. I have a big pie hole, but I just love you so much, And honestly, I'm completely honored that you asked me to hang out with a bunch of testicles because I didn't know who to spank first, but I didn't have to, right?
Are you calling us a bunch of ball sacks?
Yes, sir. Yeah. Oh no. You know what? I love you guys so much because the three of you, I've personally actually hung out with, and I love you, so much. I would throw each and every one of you in my dungeon any day of the week. I love you that much.
What an honor.
I know. But thank you, because I'll be honest with you.
Don't tease, Nikki. Don't tease.
Oh, the nicest men that I've actually truly ever known. What a bunch of sweethearts,
Oh my
just
God.
good stuff, And the truth is, if we can collectively find a lot of people like this together, like the Prepared Minds brought so many people together. And I'll be honest, I have made some of the best friends because of this channel. I've told Ooman Oliver before, I could walk my neighborhood, the entire county, all of South Florida. I wouldn't have made good friends like this, like-minded and just amazing stuff. And John, good shit, man. Really good shit.
It's my honor to have you as my friends as well. I mean, I never expected this. When I first started doing videos back in December of 2013, can you imagine that shit? We're coming up on our 10th year anniversary. I never imagined it would be this, where we, as in me and you, and all of the audience, all of us together, are reaching out and pulling people in to wake them up so that they can get prepared for what we now know is SHTF. It has happened. I mean, just think about the last 2.5 fucking years. A little midget elf telling us to stay in our homes. A fucking demented old fuck doing what he's doing. The World Banking System, the World Economic Forum, calling a great reset so they can destroy America and destroy everything and then create their own image, their own vision of world domination. I mean, fuck these people. But now we're awake. Now we're waking up as many as we can, and it is because of you, Nikki, you, Chris, you, Ooman, and the rest of you out there who have supported the channel, supported the message, and said, you better get prepared. Shit's getting nasty. And boy, howdy, is it. Is it? Anyways, I love you all. You three here with me, as well as everyone else out there. Thank you for all the support. You know who you are. If you're supporting this channel, you know who you are. If you're spreading the message, you know who you are. If you've hit subscribe, you know who you are. If you share that video link up top, you know who you are, and you're doing your part. Whether you do it silently or with a really big mouth like Nikki, you're doing your part.
Seriously, dude, I was actually kind of fucking quiet tonight. I mean, come on. But here's the thing. If you don't support his channel, I'm going to kick the shit out of you. I mean, seriously. I mean, give me a fucking break. I was a really fucking good girl tonight.
I thought I was going to be like intermittently muting John and Nikki so anybody could get a word in edgewise.
Yeah, fucking bite me, dude. See, I totally proved you wrong. You can kiss my ass, dude. So, seriously, I know how to fucking behave myself. Excuse my language. Whatever, here. There's my ass. You can kiss it. Right. I am wearing pants for a change. Suck it.
There's lots of cussing sailors out there feeling very ashamed of themselves right now.
I know, right? They haven't perfected the art yet. I'll teach them a thing or two. Screw them. Right up, whatever.
I love you all. You're the best. I'm now going to do the thing where I close the show and we all just shut the fuck up. And then we talk a little bit afterwards. Then I go to bed because I got to wake up 0:30. Fuck, another week of that. Anyways, you guys, thank you. And thank you all for supporting us and having a good time. God bless you. Semper Fi. And God bless America. We need all the help we can get. And we got one hell of a fight ahead of us.
Let everybody know, so everybody
Sweet.